Hello there, very good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News. Glad you could join us this Saturday morning. I'm Tracy Shilshi and here are the headlines. Parliament is adjourned sine die for winter sessions. Rajya Sabha Chairman Mohammad Hamid Ansari expresses anguish over disruptions during the session. Another opportunity to declare your black money. Pradhan Garib Kalyan Yojana comes into effect. Tax dodgers will now have time until end of March 2017 to come clean. Evacuation of the last opposition-held areas in Aleppo suspended hours after they resume. Rebels accused of failing to respect the ceasefire deal, while US President Barack Obama accuses Bashar al-Assad of atrocities. China seizes US naval drone in South China Sea, with US officials demanding the return of the drone, saying that they were testing the salinity and temperature in the international waters. And India beat Australia via shootout in a thrilling contest to enter the finals of the Men's Junior Hockey World Cup. They will now take on Belgium in the summit clash on Sunday. Well, starting with Rajya Sabha, there was adjourned sine die on Friday, but not before Chairman Mohammad Hamid Ansari expressed displeasure over disruptions by all sections of the House during the session. He also urged the members to demarcate between dissent, disruption and agitation. The House sat for more than 22 hours, but could pass only one bill, as the standoff between the government and the opposition on various issues led to several disruptions.
The winter session of Rajya Sabha came to an end on Friday after the Chairman of the House and Vice President of India, Mohammad Hamid Ansari, delivered his concluding remarks. Ansari voiced concern over repeated disruptions and asserted that all sections of the House violated the rules about displaying placards and shouting slogans.
That I would not have to repeat what I said at the conclusion of the 221st session in December 2013. My hope stands belied. Regular and continuous disruptions characterize this session. The symbolism of dignified protest, so essential for orderly conduct of parliamentary proceedings, was abandoned.
He also said that members were deprived of the opportunity to seek accountability of the executive through questions and discussions on matters of public interest.
All sections of the House need to introspect on the distinction between dissent, disruption, and agitation. The House functioned on the first day of the session and had a useful discussion on demonetization on November 16 and on November 24, which remained inconclusive.
The chairman also said that peace prevailed only when obituaries were read out. He said that the upper house functioned on the first day of the session and had a useful discussion on demonetization on 16 November and 24th November. Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha TV.
And almost 92 hours were lost to disruptions in Lok Sabha during the winter session. Speaker Sumitra Mahajan expressed hope that the next session would be disruption-free. However, the lower house of parliament did manage to pass two bills.
The issue of demonetization washed out almost the entire winter session. Lok Sabha was also adjourned sine die on Friday. During the 21 sittings of Lok Sabha, the House functioned only for 19 hours. 91 hours were lost to disruptions.
सत्र के दौरान संबंधित मंत्रियों द्वारा 1772 पत्र सभा पटल पर रखे गए। इस सत्र में व्यवधानों के पश्चात बाध्य होकर सभा स्थगित किए जाने के कारण 91 घंटे 59 मिनट का समय नष्ट हुआ, जो हम सभी के लिए, विशेषता मेरे लिए भी अच्छी बात नहीं है और इससे जनता में हमारी छवि धूमिल होती है। मुझे आशा है कि आगामी सत्रों में कोई व्यवधान नहीं होगा और हम सभी बेहतर ढंग से कार्य करेंगे।
The Speaker said that 9 bills were tabled during the session. The House passed the Disabilities Bill 2016 and the Taxation Law Second Amendment Bill 2016. 440 starred questions were listed, of which 50 were answered orally. 124 matters of public importance were raised, while members also raised 311 matters under Rule 377.
डिमोनेटाइजेशन ऑफ करेंसी नोट्स विषय पर नियम 193 के अधीन अल्पकालिक चर्चा सूचीबद्ध की गई थी, तथापि चर्चा आंशिक रूप से ही हो पाई। मंत्रियों द्वारा अन्य विभिन्न महत्वपूर्ण विषयों पर 47 वक्तव्य दिए गए और माननीय संसदीय कार्य मंत्री द्वारा सरकारी कार्य के बारे में 4 वक्तव्य दिए गए। सत्र के दौरान संबंधित मंत्रियों द्वारा 1772 पत्र सभा पटल पर रखे गए।
The government, on the other hand, blamed the opposition for the disruptions.
मैंने कहा आप जरूर चर्चा करिएगा और चर्चा में आपने आपका विषय रखिएगा, स्पष्टीकरण पूछना आपका हक बनता है, प्रश्न पूछना आपका हक बनता है, विश्लेषण करना आपका हक बनता है। आपके हर सवाल के लिए जवाब देने के लिए सरकार तैयार है, वो हमारा फर्ज है, ये भी हमने कह चुके थे।
Demonetization washed out question hour on Friday too, due to which the Speaker had to adjourn the House till 12. Ravindra Shivran's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And a Congress-led opposition delegation met President Pranab Mukherjee on Friday to raise the problems faced by the people over demonetization and also with claims that they were not being allowed to speak in Parliament. Congress-led delegation comprised the Trinamool Congress, RJD, JDU and the AIUDF and some other parties. However, the NCP, DMK, Left Party, Samajwadi Party and BSP stayed away. This prompted the BJP to take potshots at them. However, the CPM clarified that there was no question of lack of opposition unity since going to the president over the issue would not yield any results.
सरकार हर बात को नकारी, असहमति दी, कोऑपरेशन नहीं दिया और जो लोकतंत्र के हर उसूल को उन्होंने तोड़ा और हम उन उसूलों को अपहेल्ड करने के लिए पूरी कोशिश की, लेकिन हमारे को ये सदन को उन्होंने ठीक ढंग से नहीं चला। ये पूरी जिम्मेदारी सरकार की है।
It was a hasty decision we have submitted to Honorable President. It was an unprepared decision and this decision caused tremendous difficulties to the common masses.
Political party, according to their own convenience, they will move forward by suppressing the feeling of others. There is no unity in the opposition also.
एक मकसद था ये नोटबंदी का प्रभाव जो पड़ रहा है जनता के ऊपर। अब उस प्रभाव के बारे में हमने पहले दिन से कह रहे थे कि राष्ट्रपति महोदय को इसके अंदर शामिल करके उनको लपेटना कोई मतलब नहीं है, क्योंकि वो कुछ खास नहीं कर सकते। तो इसलिए यहाँ पर कोई वो एकजुटता की मतलब वो भंग हो गई या वो उसके अंदर डिसरप्शन आ गया, वो बात नहीं है।
कांग्रेस पार्टी इस विषय के बारे में पूरा कंफ्यूज्ड है, भ्रमित है। मोदी सरकार के इस पहल के बारे में पूरा देश साथ दे रहा है। वो उपचुनाव में भी हमारे सामने आ गया, इसलिए उसको देख नहीं, जमीन की हकीकत को देख नहीं पा रही है विपक्ष और कांग्रेस।
The BJP Parliamentary met in Delhi as well on Friday. Prime Minister Modi addressed party MLAs on the issue of cash crisis in the wake of demonetization and urged the nation to embrace digital payment methods to ensure that corruption and black money was rooted out of the country. He also charged his Congress predecessors of not taking the basic steps to control corruption.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday hit out at the opposition over their protest against the decision to ban notes of 500 and 1000 rupee denominations. He was addressing the BJP Parliamentary Party that met in the morning.
ट्रेजरी बेंच भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ कदम उठा रही है, काले धन के खिलाफ कदम उठा रही है और विपक्ष में ज्यादातर लोग बेईमानों का साथ देने के लिए इकट्ठे हो रहे हैं।
Modi reportedly told his MPs that unlike earlier when the opposition parties stalled the House against scams, Congress-led parties were now doing so against the government's steps to curb black money and corruption. The Prime Minister said the Congress had always put its interest over that of the country, while for the BJP, the nation's interests are supreme. Modi also pitched for a digital economy, appealing to the masses to adopt it as a way of life to rid society of corruption and black money.
8 नवंबर के बाद जो भी मुख्य धारा में आना चाहते हैं उनको अवसर मिलना चाहिए और ये डिजिटल व्यवस्था के कारण ये संभव होगा और देश का हर व्यक्ति जी ये अफसरशाही का जुल्म सहने को तैयार नहीं है। मैंने सरकार के सभी अधिकारियों से कह दिया है पुराना कोई पोस्टमार्टम नहीं करना है।
Attacking former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, who has been unsparing in his criticism of demonetization, Modi said Dr. Singh advocated strong measures against corruption and black money, but did nothing during his rule of 10 years. With inputs from Pranav Goswami, Bureau Report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana comes into effect today, and under the tax scheme, tax dodgers will have time until the end of March 2017 to come clean. Under the new scheme, a person making black money declaration would have to pay 50% in taxes and surcharges. The individual would also have to park a quarter of a total sum in non-interest-bearing deposit for 4 years. Revenue Secretary Hasmukh Adhia has said that those who fail to declare their untaxed income under the scheme will have to pay minimum of 77% and up to 100% in tax and fines. He also said that money generated from the disclosure of unaccounted cash will be used for this Yojana, also assuring that declarations under the new disclosure scheme will be kept confidential.
इस योजना में कोई भी व्यक्ति या तो कंपनी, कोई भी एसएससी जो है वो अपनी अघोषित आय का करीब 50%, 49.9% टू बी प्रिसाइज, 50% टैक्स, सरचार्ज एंड पेनल्टी भर के और उसके बाद 25% अमाउंट डिपॉजिट के रूप में 4 साल की डिपॉजिट जिसमें बिना इंटरेस्ट, बिना कोई सूद के डिपॉजिट रखनी है सरकार के पास 4 साल के लिए, तो वो डिपॉजिट करने के बाद एक डिक्लेरेशन दे सकते हैं इनकम टैक्स ऑफिसर के पास और वो अपनी अघोषित आय को डिक्लेयर कर सकते हैं।
Meanwhile, political parties depositing all 500,000 rupee notes in their accounts will be exempt from income tax. However, the condition is that the donations taken are below 20,000 rupees per individual and properly documented. Revenue Secretary Hasmukh Adhia clarified that the government is not tinkering with the tax exemption available to political parties and they are free to deposit all 500,000 rupee notes in their bank accounts. However, if, of course, a single donation is above 20,000 rupees as per the existing law, it has to be done through check or bank draft. He said deposits in bank accounts of political parties are not to be taxed. 5 senior-most judges, meanwhile, will decide whether the notes ban is legal and whether it is a violation of fundamental rights. The Supreme Court said this on Friday as it heard petitions challenging the ban on the 500,000 rupee notes last month. The note ban has left millions facing a crash crunch and scrambling to banks and ATMs. Whether the court can interfere in economic policy affairs will also be debated by the 5-judge Constitution bench. The court, however, said that the decision to extend the use of all notes at select places like hospitals and petrol pumps for a few more days will have to be taken by the government. The court also said that it is up to the government to review the withdrawal limit of 24,000 rupees per week from banks.
जो 8 नवंबर 2016 का जो नोटिफिकेशन है वो सही है नहीं है लीगल की तरफ से, वो सही है नहीं है, वो सबसे पहले क्वेश्चन उन्होंने उठाया। और दूसरा है, और जो भी ये नोटिफिकेशन है वेदर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनली इट इज़ परमिसेबल, जो भी आर्टिकल 14, 19, 21 इसके ऊपर इनफैक्ट जो भी वायलेट करता है नहीं करता है ये भी डिसाइड करेगा। और तीसरा डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स की वो जो भी रेस्ट्रिक्शंस है वो भी इनफैक्ट सुप्रीम कोर्ट डिसाइड करेगा सही है नहीं है।
All right, with that, a quick break here. We'll be back with more news in a bit. Stay with us.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries.
Welcome back. In more national news, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi launched a scathing attack on the Prime Minister on the issue of demonetization. Addressing a rally in Goa, Rahul alleged the move is not against black money or corruption, but against the poor and honest people. He said the Congress is not against the fight against black money, but it is standing with the people who have been suffering because of the money crunch. In fact, he said in the name of switching to a cashless economy, the government has made the poor cashless.
नोटबंदी का फैसला हिंदुस्तान के 99% ईमानदार लोगों पे हमला है, हिंदुस्तान की कैश इकोनॉमी पे हमला है, हिंदुस्तान के कमजोर लोगों पर हमला है.
And this will definitely be used by the opposition to take on the government again, as it has hiked the price of petrol by 2 rupees 21 paise per litre and of diesel by 1 rupee 79 paise per litre. The price revision was to come into effect from Thursday, but it was deferred to save the demonetization battered government from any blushes in Parliament. The revised rates were effective from midnight of Saturday. In a statement, the nation's biggest fuel retailer, Indian Oil Corporation, said that the current level of international product of prices of petrol and diesel and the rupee-US dollar exchange rate warrants a decrease in selling price of petrol and diesel. IOC further said that it would continue to monitor the movement of prices in the international oil market and the rupee-dollar exchange rate and revise the prices accordingly. After the revision, so here are the prices that you can see on the screens in different cities, be it in Chennai, Delhi, Mumbai and other cities as well. And now international news, and US President Barack Obama has alleged that cyber attacks during the US elections were done by Russia under the direction of the President Vladimir Putin. In a pre-Christmas holiday press conference on Friday, Obama said that the US intelligence is confident that Russians hacked into servers and email systems of Democratic Party and the Hillary Clinton campaign, which helped President-elect Donald Trump. Obama has ordered intelligence agencies to conduct a full review of hacking and wants a report before he leaves office on the 20th of January. The US president also said, and he in fact has said that he had warned Putin in September, in fact, to stop meddling in American political campaigns. And for the first time, the former US Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton as well attributed her election defeat to Russian hacking.
Based on uniform intelligence assessments, the Russians were responsible for hacking the DNC, and that as a consequence, it is important for us to review all elements of that. In early September, when I saw President Putin in China, I felt that the most effective way to ensure that that didn't happen was to talk to him directly and tell him to cut it out, and there were going to be some serious consequences if he didn't. And in fact, we did not see further tampering of the election process, but the leaks through WikiLeaks had already occurred.
Meanwhile, the Syrian government unexpectedly suspended the evacuation of civilians and rebel fighters from eastern Aleppo on Friday, accusing the rebels of breaking terms of the deal. Rebel leaders and residents, meanwhile, blamed the pro-government forces of blocking the route out of northern Syrian city.
The evacuation of last opposition-held areas of the Syrian city of Aleppo was suspended hours after they resumed on Friday. The rebels have been accused of shooting and failing to respect the ceasefire deal under which tens of thousands of civilians and rebel fighters are being evacuated to opposition-controlled areas. Hundreds protested in Turkey in solidarity with Aleppo, blaming the suspension of the evacuation on pro-government forces.
Buradaki yapılan katliamlar İran, Rusya ve Hizbullah'ın yaptığı katliamlar. Dolayısıyla onlar gitmeden Suriye'de ne barış olur ne de huzura ererler. Dolayısıyla şu an tahliyeleri de provoke edenler Şii milisler, Hizbullah çeteleri.
Protests also took place in Homs and Idlib, calling for unity between all opposition groups in order to topple President Bashar al-Assad. US President Barack Obama accused Syrian President Bashar al-Assad and his allies Russia and Iran of atrocities, saying the world was united in horror at the situation.
We have seen a deliberate strategy of surrounding, besieging, and starving innocent civilians. We've seen relentless targeting of humanitarian workers and medical personnel, entire neighborhoods reduced to rubble and dust. There are continuing reports of civilians being executed, and these are all horrific violations of international law. Responsibility for this brutality lies in one place alone, with the Assad regime and its allies, Russia and Iran, and this blood and these atrocities are on their hands.
At least 6,000 people have left Aleppo, but thousands of cold and hungry civilians remain stranded, waiting to be picked up. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, China has seized an underwater drone deployed by an American oceanographic vessel in the international waters in the South China Sea. This has triggered a formal diplomatic protest with the US and Washington demanding the return of the drone. The incident took place on Thursday, just as the USNS Bowditch, an oceanographic survey ship, was about to retrieve the unmanned underwater vehicle. The US says that the drone was used to test water salinity and temperatures to help in the mapping of underwater channels. China seized the drone in international waters about 50 miles off the Subic Bay. The vessel's seizure comes amid rising tensions in the South China Sea, where China has moved to fortify its claims by building out tiny reefs into artificial islands. In a controversial admission, Philippines' President Rodrigo Duterte on Friday confirmed that he shot dead 3 men while he served as the mayor of Davao. The remarks came hours after his spokesperson denied that he had personally killed anyone. Speaking to the media, though, during his visit to Singapore, President Duterte said that he had in fact killed 3 men during a hostage-taking incident in Davao City, where he was the mayor for more than 20 years. The Philippines' president further added that if anyone tries to destroy Davao or tries to destroy the next generation of the country, he would definitely kill him, quote-unquote. The firebrand leader told a gathering of business leaders at the presidential palace on Monday that he had, quote, personally killed criminals and prowled the city streets on a big bike looking for encounters to kill, unquote. Senators have warned Duterte risks, in fact, impeachment because of his statements about personally killing criminals in Davao, while the citizens have welcomed the president, saying that they fully supported him.
CNN, pati BBC since yesterday, said that Duterte admits killing or shooting the criminals. If you are here and if you are into crime, kindly leave Davao. If you destroy Davao, I will kill you. If you are into drugs and destroy our youth, the next generation after us, and I would hate it, and I will kill you.
It's the peace and order. It's about time. It's high time that we have in our country to have. It's the first time we have a president like this who really takes care of the Filipinos, especially the peace and order.
He did a lot of changes in Philippines. We are happy now that we are safe to go home and we are not afraid because we are always afraid to go home because of those bad crimes going on in Philippines.
All right, on to sports, and India defeated Australia 4-2 through a shootout in a thrilling contest to enter the final of the Men's Junior Hockey World Cup after a hiatus of 15 years at the Major Dhyan Chand Stadium in Lucknow. Tom Craig's goal in 14th minute gave Australia a 1-0 lead, but India equalised through Gurjant Singh in the 42nd minute and led 2-1 with a goal from Mandeep Singh in the 48th minute of the game. But just when it was time to close out the game, the Indian defence conceded a soft goal by Lachlan Sharp in the 57th minute to take the match into shootout after both the teams were locked at 2-2 at the end of regulation time. India, who last won the Junior World Cup way back in 2001 in Hobart, are on a mission to reclaim the title and will face Belgium in the summit clash on Sunday. And in badminton, Olympic 2016 silver medalist PV Sindhu vanquished her Rio tormentor Carolina Marin of Spain in Group B to sail into the semi-finals of the World Super Series finals in Dubai on Friday. Sindhu moved past the world number 2 and the reigning world champion Carolina Marin 21-17, 21-13 in 46 minutes to enter the last 4th stage of the season-ending tournament. Sindhu needed the win over Carolina to progress into the semi-finals, and Carolina's ferocious talent had already lost 2 consecutive matches and was already ruled out from the race to the semi-finals. Earlier, Sindhu defeated Akane Yamaguchi of Japan in the opening game and lost to China's Sun Yu in the second round-robin match. And in cricket, England have scored 316 runs so far, losing 6 wickets on day 2 of the 5th and final cricket test against India in Chennai today. Resuming the first innings at an overnight score of 284 for 4, England lost 2 early wickets, adding just 16 runs so far. For India, R. Ashwin gave the early breakthrough as he claimed, in fact, Ben Stokes' wicket. Later, Ishant Sharma picked Josh Butler's wicket to damage the visitors' batting lineup.
His backside off to achieve the success.
And that's all we have for you on the Breakfast News. Thanks for joining us. Have a good day.